Innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. Well said by Mr. Steve Jobs. And if this innovation is done by sustainability, then the existing global problems will turn into business opportunities. A very good evening to all of you. I, Dr. 𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗃𝗀 Saxena, on behalf of my host institution, Dr. Lal Institute of Biotechnology, welcome you all to the webinar on the topic Sustainpreneurship, the Key to Self-Reliance Mission of India, organized by Government of India, Ministry of MSME, MSME Development Institute, Jaipur, and Dr. Lal Institute of Biotechnology. I would like to thank each one of you for joining us today on this occasion of World Environment Day. First of all, I would like to welcome our experts guest for today's talk. Today, we are honored to have with us Mrs. Anila Chauradia ma'am, Assistant Director, DC MSME Jaipur. Ma'am is associated with MSME since July 2016. Prior to MSME, she has worked with Japan Plus, a cell at Department of Industrial Policy and Promotions and Department of Commerce. We welcome you, ma'am. We also have with us Dr. Madhurita Gupta ma'am, founder of MyWest Charitable Trust and Research Center, which works for the welfare of women and environment conservation using various social innovations, fulfilling the basic requirements of good health, clean sanitation, and clean energy in India. Ma'am is also the founder of Arnav Green Tech Innovations Private Limited, a Mumbai-based startup providing access to sustainable menstrual-based disposal technology for the underprivileged communities and tribal women of India. As a founder, her latest innovation under Make in India for smart sanitation is Solar Laja machine, a perfectly engineered machine using solar power for the incineration of sanitary napkins in a pollution-free manner. We welcome you, ma'am. I would also like to welcome our expert and co-moderator, Mr. 𝗀𝗀𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗀𝗃 Sir. Sir is a global mentor and strategist for startups and entrepreneur ecosystem development, blend with technology, savvy knowledge, base, and strong entrepreneurial acumen. Motivational speaker, mentor, and panelist, jury with IITs, NIT, BITS Plani, IIM, and project advisory to Q incubation centers and startup communities. So, on behalf of Dr. Lal Institute of Biotechnology, I welcome you all for the webinar, and I welcome all our esteemed dignitaries with a virtual saplings. So let's begin our webinar. As we all know that sustainpreneurship is the concept that links sustainable development with the entrepreneurship. Three pillars of sustainability are society, environment, and economy. Sustainpreneurship is a business model with a cause which aims to solve problems and also to create social and environmental sustainability. As our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi sir, launched the Self-Reliance Mission of India and gave the motto of IEEE. IEEE means innovate, patent, produce, and prosper. These four steps would lead our country towards faster development. Great business leaders and scientists also support this mission. By innovation, we will be able to provide India its place that it rightfully deserves in the 21st century. I feel proud to say that we Indians have stood by each other in this pandemic COVID-19 situation. ये सारे innovations हुए COVID-19 period में और हमें दिशा दी इन pandemics ने एक self sustain होने की या हम कह सकते हैं एक self reliance की. तो अगर हम इस प्रक्रिया की ही बात करते हैं तो हम देखते हैं कि कहीं ना कहीं इस पैंडेमिक कंडीशन के अंदर हम लोग सिनेरियो कोविड-19 सिनेरियो की जब हम बात करते हैं तो हम देखते हैं कि इस पैंडेमिक ने दुनिया के हर देश की इकोनॉमी को चरमरा दिया है. यानी कि हम लोग एक तरीके से देखें तो जहां इकोनॉमी चरमरा गई वहीं दूसरी तरफ इन इनोवेशंस ने इन उद्योगों को जीवंत किया है. अगर हम भारतवर्ष की ही बात करते हैं तो देखिए 3 महीने पहले तक तकरीबन हमारे देश में पीपीई किट का उत्पादन नहीं होता था. वहीं आज ये करोड़ों का उद्योग है. यानी कि हमें जरूरत है एक ऐसे बिजनेस मॉडल की जो इकोनॉमी को स्टेबलाइज करे. इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ करे, साथ ही साथ हमारी सस्टेनेबिलिटी के पिलर्स पर ये इकोनॉमी बेस हो. So if we see our surroundings, we very well know and believe that bio-innovations have the potential to change the life of people. Bio-innovation have capabilities to address the needs of people by creating affordable products, by use the applications of biotechnology. Bio-innovations have this potential to catapult India into a brighter future. So looking into the present scenario, I would like to ask my question to Madhurita ma'am. Ma'am, since the basic necessity of human includes a good food, health, hygiene, and a good environmental conditions, which are all being met together by the biotechnology. So can we say that bio-innovation is the only key for sustainablepreneurship? What is your opinion, ma'am?
Bio-innovation is of very prime importance, and with the emerging diseases like SARS, COVID, anthrax, and swine flu, I think this is the future, because everywhere the health is of prime importance, and bio-innovation is going to be a propelling factor for not only the economy, because it's directly or indirectly, it is impacting the healthcare. And with bio-innovation, there is a lot of scope where we can not only scientifically we can innovate, but we can help the community in a much bigger scale. And this is going to impact the economy, society as a whole in response to the global challenges, what I feel. And at the current scenario, there are a lot of scope in the bio-innovations in the healthcare with bio molecules, with engineered cells, biosystems, in fact, biomachines. This is something which is going to come up, and with the integration of artificial intelligence along with the data analytics in the bio-innovation, definitely there will be new innovation with the current challenges in healthcare sector, as well as the future diseases. And this is going to have a impact in the whole ecosystem. And before someone goes into the bio-innovation, they should think whether the innovation which they are going to do is going to create an impact on the communities, whether it is going to alleviate the poverty, or whether it is going to have an impact on their health, or to the whole geographical area, or the whole system of the whole country in a whole. And bio-innovations worldwide, everyone is now working on the same aspect. Everyone wants a solution for this COVID. And with this, I would say, yes, bio-innovation is a key, and key to the sustainablepreneurship, and it is the future in the healthcare. And there will be a lot of new technologies and bio-innovations from the India, and we have seen it in the pandemic already. There are companies who have come up with a rapid testing kit. So few months back, there was nothing like that, but the necessity is the mother of invention, and people have taken this as an opportunity to scale up the businesses and come into the bio-innovation in a much and bigger level to solve the global challenges.
Definitely, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am, for the insight. And definitely, ma'am, we cannot think the human survival without the bio-innovations. So moving towards Akhilesh sir for the next informative discussions. So over to you, Akhilesh sir.
Thank you, Dr. Sunika. To my mind, in fact, last 70 days, what we had as a lockdown, the biggest asset we have gained is actually just connected to nature. Nature has put us back to the real essence of our life. Last 70 days, I'm sure you would have realized fresh air, river water is being drinkable, pretty clean now. And more important, you see a lot of natural greenery surrounding you. Today's topic is very important: socio-entrepreneurship, or you can say sustainability entrepreneurship. Sustainable entrepreneurship's role is now to keep this or to sustain this scenarios of environment during unlocking 1.0, 2.0, and so on. And I think this is going to be the biggest accountability and responsibility for each and every innovator, researcher, scholar, and as an individual to sustain such natural parameters with ethical way. Fortunately, in fact, decades and decades after decades, we have been celebrating this Environment Day in such essence of pure air or maybe clean drinkable water. And I think there's a right way to tribute to this Environment Day altogether. So coming down to Ms. Anila, so I like to engage her just looking at her views. In this pandemic, how you think economy and sustainability can go hand in hand, and what exactly you feel as a government framework can really support it and take it further to the new heights.
Thank you, 𝗀𝗀𝗃𝗁, and thank you, Sonika-ji. Well, before answering to you, I would like to take this platform as an opportunity to appreciate all the biotech researchers, academicians, entrepreneurs, and technocrats who are working day and night to save us from the current pandemic. So I thank you all for all your work and researches which you are putting efforts all the time during this current pandemic. Coming back to your question, 𝗀𝗃𝗁-ji, this corona pandemic have definitely taught us one thing, that sustainability and economy have to go hand in hand in coming future. That is basically the survival of the fittest. It is teaching us like how we can go it and how the biotechnocrats can play a role into it. For me, I think the biotechnocrats can play a vital role into this. They can show a new way of business model to the people, which includes the green technology or the social aspect. As rightly said by Sonika-ji, that sustainpreneurship or sustainability covers three aspects. One is society, other is environment, third one is ecology. So the balance need to be maintained between everything. And I request the biotechnocrats to focus on any invention keeping into mind the sustainpreneurship concept, because whatever they will invent, the enterprises are the only way who are going to commercialize the innovation which are being made by the biotechnocrats. So from the seed onwards, we need to understand that what we are inventing, that need to have a good impact on the society as well as on the environment. So whoever, all the biotechnocrats and the researchers and any other entrepreneurs who are listening to me, I would request, make the innovations, get it patented, make that R&D which is going to impact the society in a positive way and affect the environment also in a positive way. As rightly said by our Honorable Prime Minister in 2015, he launched the concept of zero defect, zero effect, a Z certification concept. The idea behind this was that India should in near future produce the products which are going to have a zero defect and going to have a zero effect on the environment. So for me, my view on this is that sustainability and economy have to go hand in hand. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, ma'am. I think what we are now coming up, as Dr. Madhurita and Ms. Anila rightly said, bio-innovation, and there should be a passion towards a drive to create a social impact. Corona or this kind of pandemic has taught us a lesson of life, in fact. So to my mind, in fact, I see very clearly a lot of business innovation and a lot of business potential for the startups, entrepreneurs, innovators, scholars, researchers in areas like hygiene and healthcare, where a lot of, you can see the innovation in terms of product and services can be done, like self-sanitized gloves, portable sanitizing kits. It could be some temperature control PPE kits, biodegradable PPE kits, with one of the startup guy called Rupam has shared with me. I really got thrilled about this fantastic idea. Another field, you can say fitness and physical immunity, taking care of all our herbal and Ayurvedic formulation which are mostly present in our house. I think entrepreneurs can create very good formulation to really deliver the right set of medication, or maybe the preventive and precautionary medication to the individuals. Consulting business in age of online traffic when you're almost 7 to 8 hours because of the lockdown. And again, online has been the part of entire, your workplace as well as for the kids. A lot of, people are stressed about it. Some of the people are really in depression because of insecurity of the jobs and financial crisis. So I think a lot of consulting business to take care of such mindsets can be one of the potential opportunity. And more important, I see the school kids which are going to come up in next 45 to 60 days, how you are going to create a message, a lesson to kids on social distancing and cleanliness. So I think one entrepreneur, any entrepreneur can create some very creative sanitization kits, as the kids love their pencil box or lunch box. These creative sanitization kits or something which can give in a message as a campaign for keeping social distance, maintaining this cleanliness, and again making them aware and creating some cultural background for them, they can really fight back. So these kind of innovations, to my mind, I'm sure Dr. Madhumita can highlight a bit of more, as she's been a part of ecosystem and she's been doing a wonderful job in sustainable innovation in bio innovation segment. So I'd like to just engage Dr. Madhumita, taking her glimpse of the journey to ecosystem of entrepreneurship. What do you think the right message to youngsters, and what exactly one or two value adds you have created to social impact? I would request if you can share for the viewers.
Thank you very much, 𝗀𝗃𝗁𝗂𝗂𝗂, for giving this opportunity and the Lal Institute. I would say, wherever there is an issue, there is always a solution. So while working in the environment, we came to know there are issues of this sanitary pad disposal, because it takes around 400 to 800 years to burn. And now we are seeing not only the pads, now this PPE kits, face masks, it's everywhere. There is the production, but people or innovators, they don't know where to burn it. So it's causing the marine pollution, it is causing the environmental pollution, it is impacting the lives of the animals, it's impacting the lives of humans. So a simple surgical face mask, it takes around 450 years to degrade. So imagine where it is going to end up. So looking at this problem, we came up with the solar sanitary pad incinerator, which can incinerate not only the sanitary pads, but the face mask, PPE, biomedical waste, which otherwise will land up in the landfills for up to 800 years and create a huge negative impact on the environment. And with this incineration, of course, it can incinerate anything in less than 2 minutes. I wanted to share a video of the product, and I feel most of the young entrepreneurs, they should think before innovating what impact it is going to create in the community, and especially the marginalized community, because we are living in an ecosystem where everyone is equal. So if we see, you have gone through the video, like if we put the PPE kit or the face mask in that, it can incinerate and will not create a negative impact on the environment or in the whole planet. The bio innovators and the young generation, they should know what they are innovating and what kind of negative or the positive impact or the direct or indirect impact it is creating, not only in the economically, but it has to be sustainable. It has to have an impact on the community as a whole. And in future, just making a car alone is not going to do. It's going to relate it to the healthcare. It is going to relate it to the bio innovation, and of course, healthcare is one aspect which is going nowadays after COVID. We are seeing it's a main area, main domain where the young generations, they are coming up with the solutions, and definitely there is a lot of scope in the sustainability sector. And we are also working, and the government bodies, there are NGOs, there are other social impact entrepreneurs, they are working as a whole ecosystem to create a change and to balance the environment, because we did not do it in past. That's why we are facing the COVID-19 now. So we really have to think our innovations should have a bigger impact as a whole, rather than just the economical impact.
Great. So I think that's really inspirational, your innovations in your story and the way you've been taking care of girls and the women in rural areas. The machine, what it was showing off some disposable mechanism for the sanitary pads, I believe. So one of the again startup came up with biodegradable sanitary pads also. And to my mind, again, it came as a daily routine problem. I think the daily challenges, the ground level challenges can give a lot of birthplace of the innovations. So what we're discussing sometime back, nowadays, everyone has to take a mask as one of the very essential safeguard when even though you're in home, work, or maybe outside. Most of the people are going for homemade masks made of the cotton fabric and cloth and all. I'm sure very few people really know how to reuse it, and in between first use and second use, how to clean it further. So I would urge all the youngsters and entrepreneurs and biotechnocrats, in fact, can we devise some sort of, a sanitization box where a mask made of cotton fabric or a cloth can be sanitized with some steam or disinfectant and can be dried out immediately. Within 15 to 20 minutes can be reused back. Otherwise, the normal protocol says you have to wash it, clean it, boil it in salt water, or maybe somewhere 4 to 5 hours of sunlight or some, that kind of procedure, which is practically not every time possible. So I think this is a huge opportunity. Every home needs 2 or 3 these kind of sanitation box where they can reuse their mask and very safely can take it further. So these kind of very basic challenges can give huge opportunity, potential market for the innovators, for the bio technocrats and all together. I'd like to now hand over to Dr. Sonika for next round of agenda.
Thank you very much, Akhilesh sir. So my next question is with Anila ma'am. Anila ma'am, as MSME India is the major contributor to Indian economy, as our Honorable Prime Minister has recently launched the economy package in Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. So I just want to know, ma'am, as Vocal for Local, recently this program is also launched. So how MSME supports young entrepreneurs? So in this campaign, what is your opinion, ma'am? किस तरीके से जो young entrepreneurs हैं, young budding entrepreneurs हैं, वो अपने आप को establish कर सकते हैं, अपने innovations को आगे ले जा सकते हैं, MSME किस तरीके से उनको help करेगा?
Sonika ji, there are 2 questions into this. One is हमारे government ने क्या announcement की packages की? For that I would like to share one short presentation. And then after that, I would take the other question, that how MSME is going to play its role in helping the new startups or the entrepreneurs. What is the role of MSME? Then I will take that matter. Prior to that, I will start with the newly launched definition of the MSME.
Okay, ma'am.
So, is the presentation visible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Okay, fine. So let's start with the definition. Recently, 2 days before, a new definition of MSME has been launched. Earlier, there was a bifurcation between manufacturing and services, but as you can see, the distinction between manufacturing and services sector has been eliminated, and a new subject has also been added to it, that is the annual turnover. Earlier, it was only the investment in plant and machinery that used to bifurcate our enterprise between a micro, small and medium. But now the annual turnover has also been added as an aspect to it. As you can see on the screen, investment in plant and machinery up to 1 crore and annual turnover up to 5 crore are termed as a micro enterprise, and investment in plant and machinery up to 10 crore and annual turnover up to 50 crore will be treated as a small enterprise, and investment in plant and machinery up to 50 crore and annual turnover up to 250 crore would be termed as medium enterprise. And as per the cabinet note, this annual turnover does not include the MSME export turnover. So coming to the announcements, big announcements being made by the government of India for the MSME sector during COVID-19. A package of rupees 3 lakh crore loans has been announced for the MSMEs, which is collateral free as well as guarantee free. This is implemented by the Department of Financial Services, and operational guidelines for the same has been issued. I will demonstrate in the next slide what are the actual eligibility criteria and how to apply for it. And the other scheme is a distressed asset fund scheme, that is a subordinate debt scheme for the MSMEs, a package of around 20,000 crore, and the equity infusion for MSMEs through fund of funds, which is a package of around 50,000 crore. And another major initiative which has been taken for the MSMEs is the global tenders are disallowed up to rupees 200 crore to benefit the domestic firms. Basically, the concept is local होगा global. इसमें competition जो होगा वो लोगों के लिए कम हो जाएगा. 200 करोड़ तक के turnover, 200 करोड़ तक के जो भी टेंडर है वो हमारे ही domestic firms and MSMEs eligible है जिसमें participate कर सकते हैं. So this is
just want to interrupt मैम, I think स्लाइड्स आपका एक बार आप शेयर करेंगे क्योंकि अभी हम लोग को ये फर्स्ट स्लाइड यहाँ पे विजुलाइज हो रहा है. तो एक बार स्लाइड आपका थोड़ा सा. यस मैम, यस मैम, यस मैम, नाउ इट इज ओके मैम. यस.
So coming to the first package, the salient features of this 3 lakh crore package. So up to there are some eligibility criteria. The unit need to have a turnover of around 100 crore rupees and loans up to rupees 25 crore outstanding. For that you will get a 20% of upper limit or kind of thing on this. So keep this criteria into mind before applying for this. And it has a period of 4-year tenure and a 12 months moratorium period. And the interest rate is also capped into this. And the scheme can be availed until 31st October 2020 or till the further funds are being utilized. So this is a 3 lakh crore package. And the other one which I spoke about was the distressed asset fund scheme. So how this is going to work? This is for the MSMEs which have turned out to be a NPA or a SIC units. The scheme gets extended to support the promoter of the MSMEs. That is, the promoter of the NPA MSMEs would be given a fund of around 15% of their contribution or rupees 25 lakh. And the promoter further have to infuse that capital into the MSME unit in the form of equity or sub-debt so that they can be revived. As you can see in the presentation, Government of India will provide a guarantee coverage of around 85% for the loans up to rupees 5 lakh and 75% for the loans beyond rupees 5 lakh to MSMEs for them to raise funds from financial institutions. So basically, the promoter are going to play a role into this to revive the SIC units. You can, any functioning, as I said, you MSMEs which are NPA or are states are eligible for this, and the promoters of the units can apply to the government. The promoters, then the promoters need to infuse it. So the NPA can get in touch with their promoters, and the promoters can further apply to the commercial banks to avail the benefit under this scheme. And the third one is the equity infusion for MSMEs through fund of funds. So basically, we know that MSMEs, mostly the biggest challenge MSMEs face is the crunch of the finance. So there is always a shortage of finance for them. So to cover up this, especially during this pandemic time, government is trying to give finance for the working capital. So in this, the fund of fund is created. For this, a mother fund is being created in which government is the major investor, and then this government, our government, is going to give the fund to the daughter funds who are further going to register these MSMEs into the stock exchanges market. As you can see in the slide, Government of India will support venture capitalists or private equity firms in investing in commercially viable MSMEs in meeting their growth requirements. The proposed funds will encourage private sector investment in the MSME sector and leverage rupees 50,000 crore. The amount can be even higher, and there is a private funding leverage. This will help attract a wide range of investors, including the financial institution. So a CGTMSE fund scheme is of MSME. So partial grant initially can be given under this CGTMSE fund. The salient features, as I already told you, a mother fund would be created. the government will distribute the fund to the daughter funds, and further it will be infused into the MSME units. The scheme is through investor funds onboarded and registered with proposed fund of funds. You can apply through them to avail this particular scheme. Basically, this is the concept of linking the MSMEs into the market. And the major other interventions being made are e-market linkage, like many MSMEs used to go to the domestic fairs and international fairs, but since because of this pandemic, in coming 6 months or 1 year, those trade fairs might not be possible. So government is thinking to do a e-market linkage for the MSMEs to promote them to act as a replacement for the trade fairs and the exhibitions. And one of the state champion control room has been inaugurated by Government of India. It is functional at our MSME Jaipur also, and if people have joined us from the other state, they can find it into their respective states also. A champion control room has been opened up. You can write your grievances or whatever you have your query through this portal, champions.gov.in, and your problem would be resolved instantly. And other things the units mostly face is a problem of repayment, like they used to invest into the tenders process of the government. Then government has made sure that their payments should be released within 45 days. So these are the major interventions being announced by Government of India recently. Now coming back to your other questions, Sonika ji, how MSME is going to assist you into this. So since we have major audience of the biotechnocrats, so I would focus majorly on those schemes through which they can get connected with us. One is the credit link capital subsidy scheme. Under the capital subsidy scheme, what we do is for the existing entrepreneurs to upgrade their technology or plant and machinery, Government of India provides a funding of subsidy of around 15% upfront capital subsidy, you can say, to them. So you can avail this. There is a list of around more than 1,000 machineries. If your machinery fall into that category and you are involved into manufacturing of some such kind of item, you can avail this scheme. There is my MSME portal. You can go through this. You can get the entire details of the guidelines and the scheme which I am talking about right now. On that scheme, icon of every scheme is being created, how to apply for it, what are the plausible things into it, you can go through it. And the other one, the major intervention I spoke about in my first few slides, the local 𝗀𝗂𝗀𝗃 global. So through this public procurement policy, you can do, under the public procurement policy, government have a clause to purchase 25% of its procurements from the MSMEs. And it should be noted over here that of this, 3% are to be procured from the women entrepreneurs. So you can avail this scheme also if there is any units who want to supply to the government or the PSUs associated with the government. And I already spoke about the zero defect, zero effect. So how we are helping into this, that for implementing this zero defect and zero effect concept, you need to hire consultants. So under this scheme, government funds the consultancy fee for this scheme. QCI is the nodal body for this. And the lean manufacturing scheme, the entire concept we are talking about, the sustainability thing. Sustainability means you need to make the minimum utilization of the resources with giving a maximum output. So how that would come, here comes the concept of the lean manufacturing thing. Under the lean manufacturing scheme, again you need a consultant who is going to make you understand where the resources is being wasted and how you can make the proper utilization of that resource. So you can avail this lean manufacturing scheme also, under which Ministry of MSME is funding. Another good scheme we have recently launched, that is the intellectual property rights scheme, which is directly connected to the biotechnocrats who are majorly involved into the R&D concept. So if you are doing any kind of R&D, then you can avail this scheme for patenting your item. If you have patented your item recently, you can apply to us again through our online portal also, My MSME portal, and the amount of around rupees 1 lakh would be reimbursed to you for the domestic patent, and rupees 5 lakh would be reimbursed to you for the international patent. And if you are launching any of your trademark as a brand for your particular work or product, then you can avail the trademark scheme also, under which you would be given a reimbursement of around 10,000 rupees. And another good concept is one of our scheme is a cluster development scheme. As you, I would request all of you to go through the newsletters of the Department of Biotechnology, Ministry of Biotechnology. They have you will see in Meghalaya. They have used this concept of cluster approach to build a biotech consortium kind of thing, and a cell has also been created. But in Meghalaya, they have created a cluster. It is basically a concept of backward and forward linkages of the thing. There are many, like they cannot afford to form that kind of infrastructure, so a plug and play facility kind of thing government can create under this. For the common facility center, government is providing a grant of 20 crore rupees, and in this 70% project fund will be given by the government, and in the NER region or aspirational districts, the grant is around 90%. And for the infrastructural projects, like if you are going to create some kind of IID projects for your biological experiment or R&D kind of thing, then also you can avail it. A 60% project cost or grant of around 10 crore can be granted to you for the industrial projects, and for the platted factory complex, a 15 crore grant can be provided to you. So in this way, MSME can help you, and our office is at 𝗬𝗲𝗂𝗵𝗂𝗃. You can get connected with us, and also coming to us also, calling us also, and through the Champions portal also, which has been being launched by our Honorable Prime Minister. Thank you, Sonika.
Thank you very much, ma'am. It was indeed very informative, and I'm sure that it will give a ray of hope to the budding entrepreneurs and budding biotechnocrats. So I'd like to ask next question to Akhilesh sir. Akhilesh sir, I just want to know, as a mentor, how you suggest that how young biotechnocrats or young technocrats can indulge themselves at institute level, कॉलेज के लेवल पर, अपने यूनिवर्सिटी के लेवल पर किस तरीके से जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं, जो टेक्नोक्रेट्स हैं, वो अपने आप को इन स्टार्टअप्स और इनोवेशंस के अंदर इंडल्ज कर सकते हैं. Over to you, sir.
Thanks, Dr. Sonika. So this is very common phenomena of nowadays, where not only from the college of UG and PG, but again I see a lot of good talent is coming from the schools also. So I was going through one of the questionnaire which has just come up, just pop up, where two school kids, Anuj and Bhavya, are studying in 10th and 12th class, and they wanted to understand if we have some good idea, or if we want to create something as a product or a service, what is the first step? So I believe institution level, in institute, in UG, PG, especially on the biotechnology, healthcare, medical science, and especially the technical lines, they can play a very vital role. The most important thing, the very first step, is to create a entrepreneurship cell, what we call it E-cell. So normally E-cell is being governed by students and monitored and executed by students only. So there is a sense of actually managing the entire show right from concept to their prototype or concept to their testing by the students themselves. So institute should really look forward this kind of talent. And more important, before building an infrastructure, which most of the misconception among most of the institution level, they should build a culture. They should build a passion among a drive among their entire premises, environment, and scholars. And this culture always drives from top to bottom. So Entrepreneurship Cell can take up a lot of good innovations, which can be converted into campus companies. And again, on the testing pilot projects of campus companies, which are in-house companies, they can be taken further as a commercial output. You never know, you can be tomorrow's Google, or maybe Flipkart, or maybe Ola or Oyo. So most important thing, institution level, they should talk to government also. I'm sure Ms. Anila can highlight in some other session, where a lot of funds, grants, financial aid, technological knowledge, business networking, industry connect can be provided even on the MSME platform for the institute level. If you want to start an incubation center, or you want to even develop the E-cell. So the most important thing for institute to develop a passion, create a E-cell, spot the right talent on entire gamut, and see how we can take it further to campus companies. And tomorrow, you never know, any good innovation can be tomorrow's vocal for local, which can be a global game changer altogether. So on this again, I think I answered one of these two kids' question also. They should really look forward the school infrastructure support, and if not, then definitely look forward a mentorship, and they can connect to any good, agency which can really take it further. And more important, they should connect to a good entrepreneur surrounding them who can really take it further and navigate and guide them for their idea, which is worthwhile. On this again, remarkable schemes being taken by Dr. Ms. Anila and Dr. Madhurita is again doing fantastic job in all together. I would like to ask one single question from Dr. Madhurita at ending this session. How did you get your first idea, and what actually clicks this idea is going to be killer application for you? I'm sure hundreds or thousands of ideas keep on coming when you start your journey as an entrepreneur. Looking at this biospace and looking at this ecosystem, the crucial question comes, which is my killer application, which is my best idea to commercialize it further? Please.
The idea came in while working in the environment, and this is the sector where we have been working, and the people who have passion for the environment, they can only innovate in that particular sector. So this domain no one has ever worked in, wherein solar was something very new. So we wanted to do something which is more sustainable and economical for not only the smart cities but at the rural level, village level, and that is how the journey started. But I feel the young entrepreneurs should also take in see the problems in today's world, and then devise something accordingly as per the need, as per the impact which it is going to create. And of course there are different government schemes. BIRAC is there, DST is there, BBT is there. So these kind of schemes are definitely going to promote the younger generation to take a new leap towards the sustainable entrepreneurship. And most of these entrepreneurs in the biotech sector, they have a huge platform now after the pandemic, because this is where no one has ever explored in, but there is a lot of opportunities at the current scenario. There are opportunities in the biodegradable PPE kits, as you said, biodegradable masks. So this is something new future where even the young generation should think about it, and towards their disposal also. So that is how we started, and that is how even the younger generation should address to the current issue, and then their solution should be designed in such a way which is solving the current challenges, I feel.
Okay, thanks, Dr. Madhurita. That's really fantastic altogether. So now there is a questions round, and we have been popped up a lot of questions from the viewers. Thanks a lot for your overwhelming response. So we have chosen a couple of very questions which can be answered right away, and we make sure also that rest of the questions will be answered by the eminent panelists back to back on their emails and all. So I'll hand over to Dr. Sonika to take it further on the questions.
Thank you, please, sir. So we have some questions here from the viewers, and I will request the experts to answer these. So first question is from Dr. 𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 and this question is for Madhurita ma'am. Ma'am, this question is, what is correlation among different aspects of environment and economy?
See, when we are talking about the environment, it's not only the environment, it's the community. It is the whole agriculture sector where the rural-based economy is there. Then third part is the basic economy, whether what you are doing is creating, it has an economic value to it. And fourth aspect is whether it is sustainable or not. So looking at these four aspects, only we can design the innovative solution. And in future, agriculture and the biotech sector, these two are the main sectors where there will be lot of funding, there is lot of opportunities which a younger generation should tap into.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. Next question is from Akshita Sharma. She is a student of MSc and E-Cell member of Dr. Lal Institute of Biotechnology. This question is for Anila ma'am. Ma'am, she is asking, being a biotechnology or biology student, I have certain startups ideas. So can you please let me know if there are any government scheme promoting bio-innovations?
For promoting the idea, there are a lot of schemes. So for this, there is one of the scheme of MSME also, that is a business incubation scheme. Under that scheme, government is giving a seed funding also per idea funding also, and for the business incubation centers also government is funding. Around 15 lakh rupees is being funded for the idea or idea they have. And the other scheme, if there is some kind of design or innovative thing she is doing, there is a design clinic scheme also. Under that scheme, for the student projects, government is funding 2 lakhs rupees for the same. So you can avail this scheme, and all the scheme which I'm speaking about over here, you can access the same through our My MSME portal. And further to that, even if you find any problem, you can get in touch with us. We will clear it out how you can avail the benefits of both the schemes. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am, one question is again from for the Anila ma'am and Sunita Chauhan from Kumarappa National Handpaper Institute, and she is asking, how can R&D on Training Institute be benefited with the schemes of MSME, particularly for developing a biotech consortium?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes, ma'am. How can R&D on Training Institute be benefited with the schemes of MSME, particularly for developing a biotech consortium?
See, for training institutes, we keep on doing some kind of trainings, varying specialization also into that. For that, we do our enterprise skill development scheme is over there. We get in touch with the particular institute or the vocational training institutes. There we do this kind of training. There is infrastructure facilities available. The practical trainings are being given to them. Apart from that, attendance theoretical training is also being given to these students who wish to start their own enterprises. So you can avail this training also. And as far as the consortia thing which she is talking about, respective to biotechnology, you can get in touch with the Ministry of Biotechnology. They have recently formed a bioconsortium cell with the BIREC Institute. Similarly, if some kind of research are being done at your end, you can get in touch with that ministry and can form that particular cell for the benefit of the biotechnology.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Ma'am, so many questions are there, and next question is for Madhurita ma'am. Ma'am, Mr. Prasad, he wants to know any emerging sector can you suggest for entrepreneurship in life science?
The main will be the R&D sector, as well as the manufacturing sector is something which is really coming up well, and manufacturing in the healthcare, I would say, is the future, because the rapid diagnostic kits in the biotechnology sector is something. Then bio machines, as I said, again has a lot of opportunities. Along with biosystems, there are new molecules which we needs to be made for the rapid treatment of the diseases, as well as in the manufacturing of the face mask, and more of the biodegradable and sustainable things for the protection from the diseases. Sprays, I would say, like COVID anti-spray or the nanoparticle thing for the protection of the new emerging diseases would be something which young entrepreneurs should look into.
डेफिनेटली मैम, हम लोग को ग्लोबल प्रॉब्लम्स जो है ना आइडेंटिफाई करना है और अपॉर्चुनिटीज को उसमें सर्च करना है, एंड दीज प्रॉब्लम्स कैन बी टर्न इनटू अपॉर्चुनिटी.
Pandemic has created a lot of opportunity for the young generation now. Earlier, these things nobody was thinking about, but now there is so much of opportunity, and of course the government money is also floating, and other sectors are also influxing the money into the manufacturing and the rapid diagnostic kits, and this they should look into.
Very true, ma'am. So many questions. So I would like to request all the participants कि अगर आपकी और queries हैं तो you can write to us at BIBT@BLalBiotech.com. तो definitely हमारे experts से हम request करेंगे कि उन सभी queries को हम answer कर पाएं. तो आप अभी सारी queries उसमें हम लोग को एक बार mail करें. And now I would conclude the webinar by saying that you can innovate only when you are able to understand the problem in depth, pose question, put forth new ideas and implement those ideas. India has the power of youth capable enough to establish several enterprises catering problems with sustainable solution. As Honorable Prime Minister talks about a confident India, which can restore its strength and also be able to contribute globally. Our recent government not only emphasized on Make in India, but also promoted Design in India. The government is providing rupees 10,000 crore as funds to ensure that young entrepreneurs may not face shortage of funds for their startups. The government is exempting the startups from income tax for 3 years. So what are you waiting for? Grab the chance, innovate and create. And we will together build आत्मनिर्भर भारत. और अगर हम सभी ये सब ठान लें तो भारत को विश्व विजेता बनने से कोई नहीं रोक सकता. So thank you very much all the speakers, eminent speakers, for their valuable time for this webinar. Thank you very much all the viewers for joining us today for this webinars. Thank you very much all. Jai Hind.